So in this segment, we're going to be talking about an article that was in a paper fairly recently. I don't have access to that paper, but I was given excerpts of it from a very helpful viewer. And so thank you once again. You've been a great help to this channel. And this is a pretty terrifying prospect, really, which is the ERG, the European Research Group, are teaming up with the DUP, the Desperate Unionist Party, as I like to call them, but this is no laughing matter. So the ERG have been extremely critical of the Irish government. The ERG deliberates the incentives and benefits of renewed threats of violence igniting in Northern Ireland. So essentially, they're talking about potentially, in my opinion, bringing back some really dangerous times in Northern Ireland in order to get rid of the protocol. I mean, what these guys have said, or what these people have said, it's terrifying. You should be afraid. With a weakened Prime Minister, under investigation by police for breaking the pandemic rules, and tensions in the Ukraine, pro-Brexit MPs and the DUP now see a renewed opportunity to get rid of the Irish sea border. Boris Johnson is not a lame duck Prime Minister, in my opinion, but he's not a million miles away from there. Another kind of issue is that we don't actually know how many members there are in the ERG. In the article, the ERG speaks of Dublin having a role in talking up IRA violence, and that the Loyalists do not forget that. There is discussion about Loyalist threats, so Loyalists or Unionists, depending on how you want to phrase that. Some people did have issues with me phrasing it as Loyalist before. There is discussion about Unionist threats of bombs going off in Limerick, which is in Ireland. So essentially, they're threatening parts of Ireland to blow them up. That Ireland played up the danger of violence reigniting in Northern Ireland to the EU if there was any risk of checks being carried out on the island of Ireland, which is simply not true. Ireland did not play up the danger. There were constant discussions around if there's a border in the island of Ireland, what would happen, and essentially it goes. I think one of the interviews, or one of the things that were put out, was that if cameras are put up, the cameras are going to get shot. If there are officers there, they're going to get shot at. If there are border control posts there, those are going to get shot at. And essentially it was, do not try and put a border in the island of Ireland. Don't try it. You're going to get people killed. The DUP believe that because Ireland put its case so strongly in the EU, that the unionist vote was not heard, the voice was not heard. And the thing is, right, the Ireland putting their case so strongly to the EU, Ireland a member of the EU, let's not forget here, and the Unionists who are not members of the EU. Northern Ireland was not a member of the EU because the UK was coming out of it. So who are they gonna listen to? A member of their own group, or people who are on the outside? And let's not forget that the EU did their best to keep the entirety of the UK in the single market for goods, so that we would avoid these problems we're having now. It was the UK that rejected them. I think it was even the DUP who rejected it. May actually tried her best, as annoying and flawed as she was. May did try her best to keep this fragile union together. It was the ERG that sunk her in the end. Therefore, it ultimately resulted in a border in the Irish Sea that essentially the EU said the only solution for this kind of hard Brexit is a border in the Irish Sea, which happened in the end. The British government didn't have to agree to it, but we did to get the Brexit we wanted through. The DUP and ERG now believe that Article 16 is the key, and it can be triggered in the event of the protocol causing serious economic, societal or environmental difficulties. And the thing is, they haven't actually really stated any of these major problems, but it feels like they're trying to cause one of these major problems, societal problems, to happen via potentially an act of terrorism. That's the kind of feel I've got from this article. I could be wrong, but it definitely feels like it, especially when they spoke about Limerick, and the ERG stating that the Irish government needs to realise the immense danger to UK-Irish relations and that damage to Northern Ireland by the EU's intransigence. So essentially, it feels like they are threatening Ireland here. They are threatening Ireland. They go on to say that Ireland, the UK and the EU need to find alternative ways to protect the EU single market. Well, this one works, unfortunately, for the Unionists. Apparently, there is a quoted line from the ERG saying, maybe what is needed is a loud bang going off in Dublin to make them listen. What they what if these ERG people are serious, right? What they are advocating for is a terrorist act to happen in Dublin from unionists. That's what they're hinting at. Terrorist acts, threatening action in Limerick, threatening action in Dublin because of their precious union collapsing. That's shocking. That's truly shocking. If these ERG people and DUP people are serious, this quote is from the ERG, not from the DUP, but it very much looks like they're teaming up to try and pressure Johnson to use Article 16, and the unionists are going to be in a fairly desperate spot here because of the fact that the DUP aren't going to be the major party in Stormont, and they might not even take their seats in Stormont. Same with the UUP, so they might not have any proper elected representation in Stormont. And so the question is, what will the unionists do from there? And the irony is, as we've covered before, depending on when the scheduling goes out, because I want to get this one out quickly, the irony is that Ian Paisley actually has realised, at least in my opinion, it looks like he's realised based on his speech in the House of Commons, that the Tory party isn't a Conservative and Unionist party, but is a nationalist party, and isn't concerned with Northern Ireland, but is concerned by a red wall in the north of England. And if Ian Paisley's put that together, and the rest of the DUP are slowly cotting on that the Tories don't care about Northern Ireland, it does put them in a very vulnerable position. And this article, them talking about violence erupting in Ireland, how Ireland overplayed the chances of essentially violence breaking out in Northern Ireland because of a potential hard border, is very stupid, very naive, and feels very revisionist, essentially, of the situation of Northern Ireland not very long ago. The Good Friday Agreement, I think, was only signed in 1998. That's not a long time. Just over 20 years. But this is the reality of the situation, of how hardline some of these people are, that they are so desperate to cause trouble. And no doubt they are looking at this part of the Northern Ireland Protocol, trying to figure out how can they use this so that Article 16 can be triggered. How can they cause potential societal problems for the Northern Ireland Protocol to be triggered? And it very much looks like they could be the thing that causes serious societal difficulties in order to force the government to trigger Article 16. The thing we need to remember is it's very unclear how many members of the Tory MPs are in the ERG and how far these people are willing to go, because let's not forget here, they are willing to, by the looks of things, or at least hinting at, terrorist acts against a sovereign state. And that's only going to harden resolve, I think, in Ireland, that the UK are causing these problems. And I don't know if these things play out right, if they start causing more problems, what happens from there? And that's going to be a very difficult future to predict. And the DUP and the ERG, especially the ERG, are playing with fire here, and I don't think they understand what they are dealing with. Just same as me, I don't think none of us really in England, I would say, or apart from maybe some Irish people or people from Northern Ireland that live in England, actually understand the complexities of Northern Ireland and really understand the fire they are playing with here, because they are going to absolute ridiculous lengths to try and cause problems in Ireland and Northern Ireland to get rid of the Northern Ireland Protocol. Absolute, I'm going to end up talking way longer than I should, but if these people are serious and this article has any hint of truth in it, which I believe it does, we're in for a very rocky few months as we deal with an almost lame duck Prime Minister who has absolutely no idea what the hell he's doing. Absolutely no idea of who these people are and, members of his party, really. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know if I've got anything wrong, especially on this video. I'd appreciate any kind of feedback people have, as long as you're not absolute clowns. But yeah, hopefully I'll see you in the next one.